about the framework, law, regulations. So here we will discuss about the global framework. That is global framework. Basically, the UN agency developed these framework like Sendai Framework, SFDRR, Sustainable Development Goals, Paris Agreement. Then we will discuss our Prime Minister 10-point agenda. So before entering to the technical topic, I would request all the participants to please use the COVID appropriate behavior. So as my colleague talked about you can go on. As my colleague Mr. Hari talked about how this framework existed in our DM society. So this framework started from 1989. From this image you can also see from 1989, as I think Amarnath sir in the pre-lunch session also discussed about the ILDM. So what is that? At that time, before we are not focused for we always disasters are there. Okay, hazards, events are there, but basically, previously, even in the globally, we are focused for the reactive approaches. When an event is often, we will go on the support system or the administration staff will go there and they deal with that situation. But that is not the kind of thing. Right now, we are moving from reactive approach to proactive approach. So, what is proactive approach? Like, suppose this training program. Why we are here? To learn about the disaster. What are these? How we can handle these? So it's a kind of a capacity development program to enhance our knowledge. Okay. So this is a kind of a proactive approach. Also, NDRR also you have heard about the disaster response forces. They will do the mock drills for the citizen of our country. So from the 1989 up to you can see the Sendai Framework 2015. So recently, meanwhile within the difference of 10-year gap, the UN agency come up with the different rules what are lacked previously. They come up with the new framework. So recently we are focused for the Sendai Framework. That is happened in March 2015 to 30. So recently we are also Sendai Framework is going on. So right now it's a 2022. Okay, so it will end in the 2030. Then Sendai Framework is also to end the poverty. These are the successor. The Sendai Framework is the successor of the Hugo Framework. You can see from this image also. So how the state government or the national government, they will implement this Sendai Framework for their country, for their state or for their district. So let's talk about the 4 priorities of Sendai Framework. So here you can see the first one is understanding of disaster risk. As my colleague Mr. Hari defined you what is disaster and what is risk. So here the main principle is that how you can understand how a layman, a person, those who are not involved in the disaster management institution or setup. So how those persons will identify what is hazard or what is risk. So their first priority is to understand disaster. So like just take an example. Now we are here in the Kerala state. Kerala state is facing multiple hazards. So what kind of hazard is, can you please explain this? What kind of hazard Kerala is facing? One list out one.
Landslides.
Okay. He said landslides, floods. And I want, ma'am, you please say what kind of hazard your state is facing. That person says that he we are facing landslide, and that told that we are facing flood. So you can just example of anyone. Cyclone. Okay. Or last one. What kind of hazard you are facing in Kerala? Huh? Yeah, obviously. Pandemic right now we are also facing. Anyone else to say? Yeah. No. Thunderstorm.
Drummers.
I have tremors. Okay. Sir is saying we are facing Kerala is facing earthquake also. So very good. Means mostly you have listed out the major disaster that our state, the Kerala state is facing. Like sir is also told that Kerala is facing drought also, landslides, floods, cyclones, tremor also they are facing. So here you should mention some anthropogenic disaster also. I think your state is also facing an anthropogenic disaster. Fire hazard is also there. Amar sir told us, I think before a week there is some fire hazard in the Calicut area. Mostly the revenue officials they visited at that place. So we have also considered the fire hazard, fire as a hazard, but it falls under the category of accidental hazard. Basically, yes sir, that in layman language we can classify hazard as a natural and anthropogenic, or you can say the man-made. But according to the high power committee, they have classified hazard into a flight classification. So fire, like forest fire is also cases. So forest fire, the accidental fire, these are under the category of accidental hazards.
Is Mullaperiyar Dam is there?
Yes sir?
Mullaperiyar. It's a dam. Mullaperiyar or dam?
Yeah, there's a dam. Mullaperiyar.
Okay, maybe that. That is talking about that. Yeah. So sorry, I don't understand the slang. So we need to understand the different types of hazard also. So here we are focusing for the understanding disaster risk. So I hope all you basically understand how we can identify the different type of hazards in the particular geographical region. As our country is versatile in climate and geographical wise, so different region faces different problems. You can see the hill area, they mostly faces earthquake, landslides, snow avalanches are there, flash floods are there, cloud bursts are there. So different regions has different problems. So here that's why they have mentioned we need to understand the disaster risks. We're not going for the bookish language. Yes, we know this is the hazard definition. So this is this, but particularly for every country there is a different disaster and different risk is there. So we need to understand the different hazard. Then we need to calculate the vulnerability for that particular hazard. Then we are ultimately getting the risk of our country. So here, that's why they have focused for the state level, district level, local level. Then the second priority is strengthening disaster risk. How we can strengthen our disaster system? By strengthening our capacity, strengthening our knowledge sharing process through the governance also. We need investment in disaster management. So like this way we can strengthen the disaster risk for our country. Then the third priority is investing in disaster risk reduction for resilience. Suppose mostly in the construction purpose, what we have found that this road is damaged due to illegal construction. Suppose, okay, the dam, there is, I did one case study in Gujarat 2017 flood. in basically what we have observed that the inter-government, mostly the Rajasthan area, there is a Jatpura dam that is breached and the water is flowed down to the Gujarat area. So this is the incapability of their communication gap, incapability of their strengthening infrastructure. So here they call up for strengthening to investment in DRR approaches. Like I think there is a World Bank project for resilient infrastructure also. In 2012 earthquake, Bhuj earthquake, why there are most of the time there are more losses? Why? Somebody can put some insight into this matter. Why in earthquake 2001 Bhuj earthquake there were more casualty in Bhuj Kutch area? Lack of alert also.
The buildings
The
were
building, yeah.
not so strong to withstand.
Not disastrous.
Yeah.
Communication gap.
Communication gap.
They were not prepared to fix.
We are not prepared. At that time, the community, the Kutch community, they are not prepared for that. The sir highlighted that resilient infrastructure. The infrastructure is not at the condition to bear the earthquake shocks.
Tsunami is also
Similar things happen. Or then suppose if emergency occurs, okay, we need to at that situation to cope up with that condition. Suppose we are going via a bike and bike accident happen there. So what will do? Somebody will come and they do fast it. Okay, then we can also means out of 2 passengers we can save only 1 passenger due to our medical infrastructure or medical preparedness. But for the Bhuj case, what happened? There is no hospital nearby. It's away from their Kutch area. So that's why at that time our Prime Minister is Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So we came to know that mostly we have lost the life just because of the hospitality. Then they have prepared a resilient infrastructure hospital at Kutch area. Karodo means they have invested a crore of money in resilient building. That is, I am not basically a civil engineer, but mostly we had discussions with them. They told that that building is able to bear the shocks from 9 Richter scales. The building they have made. But right now, recently, I visited their Kutch area, and what we have found now that government building, that hospital, is working by another businessman, Adani Group. They given that the government building to Adani Group. So here we need to resilient our governance also. We need community need to aware about all these things, what are going around us. So this is basically we lose in our governance structure. So we need a strong resilient structure to cope up with that kind of situation, because mostly even the scientists, they said that we can't control any hazard event. You can't stop it. You can't stop any hazard event. But you can control the casualty. You can reduce the mortality. You can reduce the deaths. How? Depends upon us. We need to know if this building is resilient. Because if this area falls under the seismic zone 4 or 5, then why there is meaning to build a high-rise building? We need to focus for this. Land use planning, we need a land use plan. Then fourth priority is enhancing disaster preparedness for effective response and to build back better. Here the fourth priority is there. Now you come to know mostly in the newspaper, in the research article, you have heard this word, build back better. build back method means before an event, we can prepare ourselves to deal with that emergency situation. That called build back better. We need a resilient infrastructure. We need to strengthen our capacity enhancement to our community at a local level so that they can, because community is the first responder. If something has happened, suppose even in the cyclone area, cyclone hit to the fisherman colony. So fisherman knows how to deal with that, how to evacuate at that time. So community is the first responder to deal with any kind of situation. So this is all about the 4 priorities of SFDRR. Then the 7 global targets. Here, how we can achieve the 4 priorities that they have mentioned in the Sendai Framework. So we can achieve these 4 priorities with these 7 global targets. Here, you can easily read or you can easily understand that there are 4 reduction oriented targets and there are some 3 increase oriented targets. How we can reduce the mortality? If we are able to reduce the mortality, then we are able to achieve the goal of SFDRR. So like in the cyclone case, we are doing IMD prediction is very good. We are achieving 99%. We are giving, IMD is giving a good prediction about the cyclone is coming. Even during the cyclone, there in Odisha there is no casualty. They have reported. So it's a good achievement by the Odisha state that their casualty is reducing. So how we can reduce the casualty? So for reducing the casualty, the state must come up with their plans to reduce the mortality. Then how we can reduce the affected population? As from cyclone area, we know that the fisherman colonies, the fishermen are most affected people for the drought area. Then we need to reduce the economic losses via 2030 and damage to critical infrastructure. Like how we can reduce. Here I would just like to share one example from the Sikkim earthquake 2011. Their assembly house in Gangtok that is damaged one state to other state or hospital from a village to a city area. That infrastructure is damaged due to any event that it will create disruption to their basic services. So how we will achieve this global target? Then these priorities also implemented in our NDMA National Disaster Management Plan that was developed by the NDMA in 2019. As you know that India is the signatory of SFDRR. We are the member of UN party. So here you can see the chapter. I am not going, if those are interested to read about the National Disaster Management Plan by NDMA 2019, so you can easily download this plan from their NDMA website. So here the chapter 1 is all the priorities we have included in our National Disaster Management Plan, and even also the states are doing very good job. I have seen that the Tamil Nadu state, they are doing very good job. They have implemented every priority in their SDMA plan, and they have developed some TN Smart app. I hope you heard about this. They have developed for their state TN Smart app. This is a smart-based app where they have mentioned all the hazard, multi-hazard for their state, particularly for their state. So here I would also like to mention that every state should come up with this type of technology so that the local people, they can easily download these apps in their smartphone and they easily know, oh, this area is vulnerable due to flood or this area is lightning prone area. So by this way you can easily reduce the losses of mortality for that. This is all about how India is doing for DRR. So this is, as I have told, this is the plan that was published in 2019. Now we are going for this is all about the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction and Resilience. If you have any doubt, so you can please raise your hand or you can ask any question or your concern about this topic. Then we will move towards Sendai Framework. We have 4 participants from NCRMP project. So could you, somebody from your side, you can please explain what is NCRMP project and what are your roles, how you can doing work for your state or basically. So from your side, yeah, please.
So, നമ്മൾ അതിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടുള്ള മിറ്റിഗേറ്റിംഗ് മെഷേഴ്സ് എടുക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു പ്രൊജക്റ്റാണ് ഇത്. അപ്പോൾ മിറ്റിഗേറ്റിംഗ് മെഷേഴ്സ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ അതിനകത്ത് ബേസിക്കലി 2 കാര്യങ്ങളാണ് വരിക. ഒന്ന് ഷെൽട്ടേഴ്സ് നമ്മൾ ബിൽഡിംഗ് ഷെൽട്ടേഴ്സ്.
We are preparing the cyclone shelter for each cyclone state. Those are affecting via cyclone. Yeah, please.
So, നമ്മൾ സൈക്ലോൺ ഷെൽട്ടേഴ്സ് ബിൽഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് കോസ്റ്റൽ ഡിസ്ട്രിക്ട്സിലാണ്. So, Kerala has a wide coastal region and basically we have some 9 coastal districts also. So, we are building shelters on all these 9 coastal areas. അതൊന്ന്. രണ്ടാമത്തെ പോർഷൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമ്മൾ അതിനുള്ള ഏർലി വാർണിംഗ് കൊടുക്കുക. അതായത് നമ്മൾ പബ്ലിക്കിനെ അലേർട്ട് ചെയ്യിപ്പിക്കുക. അപ്പോൾ അതിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ EWDS എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് പാർട്ടാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. That is early warning dissemination system. So we are basically working on these 2 things.
Okay. So is there any toll-free number that if person is affected by cyclones or if it's caused by a cyclone?
Already we have a thing for dealing with all these things. Like these toll-free numbers will be available with the state disaster, like district disasters.
So you guys are doing any teaching or capacity enhancement for their communities, mostly for the communities, because
Again, for this project we have basically 4 components. A, B, C, D.
Yeah,
all
I have heard
4 components ആണ് ഉള്ളത്. അതിനകത്ത് A എന്ന് പറയുന്നതാണ് ഈ early warning dissemination system ആയിട്ട് വരുന്നത്. B എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമ്മൾ ഈ ഷെൽട്ടർ ലെവൽ ഷെൽട്ടേഴ്സ് പ്രൊവൈഡ് ബിൽഡിംഗ് കെട്ടി കൊടുക്കുകയാണ് ചെയ്യുക. C എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമ്മുടെ ട്രെയിനിങ്. We are basically focusing on capacity building. So we will be giving mock drills and these kinds of special trainings in these particular shelters. ERP trainings.
so thank you very much and big clap for them because they are